Hello and welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the new theme music. Y'all are gonna be hearing that every week now. That's our new intro stinger. I am super excited, everybody. We are back for chapter 4 of Chat Plays Dungeon World. So, what happened last time? Well, first of all, I'm trying to do a better job of sticking to my notes, sticking to where we leave off, and making sure that I've covered everything. So, in interest of time, let's do some quick review. Henn the Penny, welcome. Tuna, Ebo Man, Sander, Luis, 50 Puma, welcome. I hope y'all are getting settled in on the mix play. If you are watching on mobile, go ahead and you can tap your screen and then use those 3 dots in the top right corner. And you'll have to turn on mix play. If you're on desktop, it should be coming up automatically for you. So, it's super exciting, right? I'm super excited. Last week on Dungeon World, it was our second arena challenge, and things got a little bit darker than they have in the past. Now, a part of this is because I'm going to say I'm just going to throw the blame around collectively. We had miscalculated our hit points. I want to reassure you all going into today's activities that, boy, there's don't forget, anyone who's trying to join in, you do have to read through the rules first. Otherwise, it will not let you join. Luis Allen joined up with Team Lenaith. Fantastic. Okay. And yes, I am going to join the Discord. So last week, things got a little bit more dangerous. The arena threw a challenge at you. This was an arena challenge, not an arena fight. Sometimes you when you sign up for an arena challenge, you don't know what the arena itself is going to throw at you. The arena threw at you a collection of ruins that looked like they were from a far-off civilization that's in the desert, and you had to fight off a collection of very strange, sort of statuesque individuals, ones that would blend into the environment and then suddenly pop out. And during this time, you fought well, you fought valiantly, and in the end, it appeared that you got a little bit more than you bargained for. And you ended up at the gates of Death's Kingdom. 2 of you did, at least. Team Halbeer and Team Celius. Lenaith being the only one left standing at the end, but it seemed that the crowd loved it. So, without further ado, shall we get into today's chapter? I hope you're all doing extremely well. And don't forget, if you want to join up, go ahead and join via Mixplay. You do have to read the rules first, and then there are some other requirements as well, but they're not terribly strict right now. My plan is to sort of turn those up over time as we get more people in here, as we get enough to kind of perpetuate it by itself. Then we'll turn up those requirements such that when new people join, they can sit and watch for a little bit and really get to know the system before they jump in and we start making a bunch of decisions with them. Okay, so let's proceed. Now, a quick note before we start. I have added a link to the Lore Keeper's Tome in each team's Discord channel in the description. That link will take you to the Google Drive that contains the updated character sheets, maps, art, etc. It's going to be the collection of all the handouts for this campaign. So, if you want to go to the Discord, you'll find them in the individual channels, and also the button to join the Discord, that is going to whisper that Discord link to you. So if you're on mobile, don't forget to check chat, because it'll whisper the link to you in chat. For starters, there is a rough campaign of the party's home district there. That's the collection of towers in which you reside. And as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to... let's see. I want to show you all. going on with events. I don't think that's a problem. Y'all let me know if the mixed play panel looks like it's working properly. But like I said, here's a rough map of your home district. This is where Halvir, Celius, Lenath, this is where y'all reside. This is the home district, and we do need a better name for it. Let me turn the chat box off really quickly so we can take a good look at this. We do need a better name for this district. So if anyone in chat right now has an idea for what we want to call our home district, this is the collection of towers where you live. And I imagine y'all live in the abandoned tower, but I'm open to suggestions. There is a tavern run by your friendly neighborhood dwarf Carl. There is Coop's Mill over here. There's a bonfire pavilion. That's a tower, the top of which is a large bonfire in the middle of this pavilion. There's the garden. It's a garden that used to be tended, but anymore this whole district has kind of gone rough. Meanwhile, there's also the exotic goods shop and the clothing shop, and today's session starts on the market bridge. Henn the Penny says, ooh, are there names of cities and such? Can we use as a reference so we know what it should approximately sound like? Well, right now we are starting in, we start small, and what we've got right now is Racedis Towers. That was suggested, I believe, by Jade Hallett. But let me put that in chat. So Racedis Towers is the name of the magical metropolis overall, and right now we're thinking of a name for this district. But this is roughly where we're at, and y'all can feel free to pop those into chat while I proceed with our next step. Let's go back to the neighborhood. So this is the market bridge itself. As Ugene requested, you are awaiting him at the market with all of your traveling gear in tow. Sorry, hold on. He told you to get ready for a trip out of Racedis Towers. Your local market is the Market Bridge on the west end of the district, spanning the gulf between the exotic goods store to the north and the clothier to the south. Ugene is thrilled with the result of your arena challenge. The crowds love it when it's a close fight. It keeps everything interesting. I heard them. They sounded like they really got the show that they came for. You know, next time, try to play to the crowd a little. They can be fickle, maybe, but I've been watching the fights since I was a tadpole. I've seen the roar of the crowd really electrify a fighter when they can get the spectators on their side. Now, a quick note about that. This means that the next time you are in the arena, go ahead and consider engaging with the spectators a little bit, because there's a new move to cover that, and you'll see what happens when you do it. But today is not an arena week. Ugene continues. Now, on to other business. I know that we were all a little worried after the goblin fight. We were a little more worried after they found out where I live. Well, it doesn't matter now because we're going on the road. I hope maggot squids don't breed quickly. But we're going on our first promo tour. We need to get your name out there a little bit, and there is no better way to do that than to find a little town with a problem and champion for them. Most districts here in Racedis Towers already have champions, of course, and I'll level with you, you're not ready to champ a district yet. Not by a sight. But I dug around a little, and I found us a nice little village with a hunting problem. Great, right? And how do you all respond to this? Sander, let's see. They should have been updated. Oh, shoot. I don't know that they are. I think you are right. So instead of building that in right now, I'm really sorry about that. We got some last minute orders from one of the other ones. Instead of that, anyone on Team Halvir could just go ahead and let me know when you want to use the invisibility spell, and I can do the roll for it. Unfortunately, yeah, I've got the move itself built, but I don't have it properly connected into your control panel, and so it's not visible, and you won't be able to use it. So just let me know. you absolutely still have access to that one. Don't worry about that. And certainly for next week, I will have that one built in. Okay. But how does everybody respond to Ugene here and telling you what your next task will be? In the basic moves panel, you're going to see act in character and speak in character. You can use the speak in character function to sort of speak in character. That will show it in chat, and I'll be able to apply the proper voicing for that. Meanwhile, Ugene waves down a floating coach. It's a slow but steady airborne wagon that drifts between the towers, delivering occupants to their destinations. As you step aboard, the gondolier holds out his calloused dwarven hand for the fare, but Ugene takes him aside and bids you sit down among your traveling gear. A moment later, Ugene returns, beaming at you. No fare for the Arena Challenge victors today. You just have to stand up and wave at a few of the intersections on our way out of town. And you head to the edge of the city. Hi, Ebo Man. Welcome back. And a note about this. Ugene is now, and I see that, Henny, don't worry. I'll be jumping back to that really quickly. Ugene is now built as a hireling, meaning that he has some small abilities that will be able to help you out in the future. In this case, he has negotiated your fare down to nothing. And in places that you are well known or that you have championed before, he will be able to use these skills to, in his particular case right now, to reduce prices of things and possibly negotiate you some decent lodging. Lenath speaks up here. Haunting? Are you sure that that's not just some silly rumor? No, I'm fairly confident it's not, actually. It seems that they have had some haunting issues only recently. They're not even sure what exactly the haunting is. They're not sure if it's a ghoul or a ghost or... Well, I'm not even sure I know the difference, but I do know that they need our help, and, well, it was one of the few spots that's close enough to town to make it really practical. They leave it up to a lot of the new fighters to, I guess you could call it advertise. We're supposed to go out into some of the more, well, wider-reaching villages and, get people excited for the fights. Get people interested in you, the fighters. Celius, Lenath, Halber, you as a team. So hopefully, if we can do a good job and champion for them, then they'll come and check the fight out. As you proceed through Racedis Towers, this has been your first good look at this city for some time. By the way, if y'all have more to say in character, go ahead and put it in chat. You've been training hard. So hard that you stopped noticing the bustling towers and bridges stretching upward to rake the sky. So hard that you've stopped noticing the downward shadows of the old city underneath the new towers. The floating coaches drifting between them, the gargoyles and the architecture suddenly coming to life to deliver messages and packages. All the uncounted faces. Dwarves, humans, elves, halflings, orcs, countless lives packed together in the towers. Over all of them, dozens of enormous statues of the Grey God. You look at the Grey God's inscrutable face. You know nothing of the Grey God, same as everyone else. All anyone knows is that the Grey God's return is foretold. Nobody knows if that will be good or bad or for who, and some don't even believe that the Grey God will come back. The Grey God is gone for good. At the edge of the city, one of the enormous downward ramps that carries you from the lower suburb towers out onto terra firma below, you pass some of the most devout adherents of the Grey God prophecy, the Revenant Host Guards, law enforcement and paladins. The Revenant Host. Guards, law enforcement, and paladins. They are bound to the Grey God, awaiting the return, but some are divided in their mission. Some say that the Revenant Host will join the Grey God to vanquish evil. Others say that the Grey God will be a terror unlike any seen before, and the Revenant Host will be bound to defend the city against that terror. You certainly don't know. Their gauntleted hands wave you through under the banner, and you trot out into the countryside. Lenath, so it looks like Lenath is going to look around for some non-Grey God statues. Yeah, I think you see a fair few. There are little statues all over the place. You know, there are, you know, various kind of plaster sculptures set into some of the walls. It looks like some of the older ones, some of the older sculptures that are here in the city. Something, you know, a little bit more tied into the architecture, something a little older, more established. Those would be made of stone, and then, you know, depending on the district, you know, some of the more prosperous ones have newer stone statues, but all you know is that the new decorations around your home district, a little on the cheap side. Painted plaster rather than stone. And I am using, you know, all public domain art for this, so if y'all could imagine that, you know, the legs of this bridge here off to my side extend down for, you know, thousands of feet, and all of this is that, you know, you're just seeing the very tops of towers here. And by the way, if anyone has art that they would like to throw in, I would be more than willing to throw it up there. I would love to show off, and you know, if you've got a piece of art that's sort of fantasy themed, I tend to build my encounters around the art that I have. So you can join the Discord if you're interested in that. Now we are going to take our first move. So we are all going to undertake a perilous journey. Now this is a special move. I have unfortunately not had the time to put the special moves into chat, and that's okay because they aren't something that you take sort of at your regular turn. These are special moves, things like, you know, when you draw your last breath, you know, making your deal with death, things like taking watch or leveling up. So these aren't moves that you would typically take just in the middle of a session. But we are going to be taking one now. So when you travel through hostile territory, and you will be doing so, choose one member of the party to act as a trailblazer, one to scout ahead, and one to be the quartermaster. And then we're going to roll, everyone is going to roll plus wisdom, and it will determine how well our journey goes. So if the three teams would like to, you know, take roles in chat, we need a trailblazer, a scout, and a quartermaster. The trailblazer is going to try and get you there in a reasonable time. Ugene thinks it's going to take about 2 days. The scout is going to ensure that you don't run up on any trouble unexpectedly, and the quartermaster is going to keep track of sort of how many rations you have to spend to get out there. All right. It's going to just be a defy danger, I think, with wisdom. Okay. So we've got Team Halvir is going to take quartermaster. It looks like, and Henny, you jumped onto Team Lenath. Yeah. Okay. So Team Lenath looks like the scout. Fantastic. And Celius will be the trailblazer. So if I could have, I'll just take the first one from each team. If you could go to the basic moves, defy danger, you can just make a quick defy danger with wisdom roll, please. Okay. So for Team Halvir, Halvir took quartermaster. Defy danger with wisdom, let's see, an 8. Okay, so that's a partial success. Lenath's team rolled a 4, okay, and Celius rolled a 6. But we've got, sorry, we're adding numbers to that. So, yeah, I think Scout is going to be a good one. Let's see, okay, Halvir. Sorry, I gotta go back over these. 8 plus 1, so that's a 9. Fantastic. Lenath is going to roll. Lenath didn't do fantastically, unfortunately. A 4 plus 1. Oop, that's not it. 4 plus 1. That only gets you up to a 5, and a For Celius, let's see. I think that's going to be a +0 wisdom. Indeed. Okay, so... Henny, let's see. It's 4 plus 1. +1. Yeah, your current wisdom score is +1. Lenaith's is. But even a +2 would only get you to a 6, and the 6 unfortunately is still a full failure. Oh, it says +2? That I can change live. Hold on a sec. We had some last minute orders from Team Lenaith come through, so some of the stuff may have changed. Let's see. It does say +2. Okay, no, it's a +1. There we go. All right, so our Trailblazer. Actually, we'll start with the most successful one. All right, Sander. Sander's taken Quartermaster. So, at a partial success, things go about as well as you expect. Things take as long as they should. Things no longer, no shorter. And you managed to get there having eaten two of your rations for 2 days. So I'll mark that off later for you. But unfortunately, things haven't gone quite as well for our scout and our Trailblazer. First of all, it's been a tough time, Celius. You've been how many what's, Sander? Oh, rations? Gotcha. Everyone has 5 dungeon rations to start with, and you can buy more. You've got the gold to do so. Never you fear. But you used to, and the going has been tough, Trailblazer. Celius, once you reach the end of the main road out to this village, you have started to have to, hack through the forest. There are brambles everywhere, and it has been a tough time getting people through. Lenelius, hello. Lenaith also. It has been tough. There's a lot of noise that has to be made trying to trailblaze, and it has been very difficult for you to really get out ahead and spot danger before it appears to you. Now, for these reasons, as you feel yourselves getting close, Ugene is traveling with you and says, well, we should be nearby at this point. Although I admit, I've gotten maybe a little lost. As we travel, each of your characters has some time for reflection. And I want to know from some of your teams, Celius, how is it that you came to join up with your elven companions? Was this before or after the ritual that brought the two of them together? Because it is kind of interesting that a Minotaur would be joined up with 2 elves in this way. You can go ahead and anyone from Team Celius can answer that in chat. But also, there is some time, and this is, maybe on the wagon ride out as you're approaching the darker, more twisted parts of the forest. Halbir, as you set off on your journey, you've got time to examine the new artifact from the arena. And you have taken a special move, so I am not even going to make you roll for it. You have a special... They needed muscle, and Celius needed coin. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I think... do you think it was after that ritual? I think that could make sense for sure. Lenaith and Halbir, kind of teaming up, and, whether they started as arena fighters or as something else, then it's possible that you came in after that and started to... Oh boy, the chat order got goofed up there. That's okay. Yeah, perhaps you came in after they had got bonded up and, figured it was a decent way to make some coin. All right, so Halbir is going to examine this item from the arena, and you don't need to roll for it. As I said, you chose the special move Enchanter. which is, I really enjoy the advanced moves that we've got here. You determine that this is an artifact called Minerva's Peering Totem, and I'll put the name in chat here. So this is a staff. It is carved intricately of fir wood, carved with subtle shapes and forms, people, animals, various statuesque forms. The gold leaf is peeling off of the wooden wings, and within the central gem you can see, if you look very, very closely, a hazy eye peering around within this central gem. When in the presence of statues, you can roll plus charisma. On a 10+, the statues come to life and they will do your bidding. On a 7 to 9, the statues come to life, but they show no allegiance. So yeah, Sidecar Sidekick is a new bot that I'm going to use for the commands in the future. And for right now, unfortunately, it looks like only one of the commands got put in for Sidecar Sidekick. I was trying to continue to put commands in for other stuff, and looks like one slipped through. That's all right. Eventually, they will all be coming from Sidekick, so that you know when Sidecar Stories is in chat, you know that's just me. So, Minerva's Peering Totem, you have got this, and y'all can use this whenever you wish. Remember, it is a roll plus charisma to essentially make statues come to life. So, there you go. Finally, Lenaith. Lenaith has decided to dedicate themselves to a god. Now, this is part of your level up, Team Lenaith, and I'm curious as to what could have made this team, what could have made Lenaith do this. You have dedicated yourself to Endor, the deity of mediumship. This is a deity that, in defiance of death, opens up channels. They kind of act as a courier between the living and the dead. Now, death isn't happy about this, so Endor is kind of a rebel, kind of a badass, and facilitates, meetings, sometimes just couriers between the living and the dead. And I think this probably, Lenaith, this probably means that you're spending a decent bit of time with the Lost One, and that is who I'm calling the one that Lenaith lost. This person will, of course, have a name, and I think this is the sort of thing that we're going to sort out in the Discord later on, but the Lost One, the one that currently, as y'all know it, maybe Celius and Javier have maybe they know about the Lost One, but they probably don't know all the details. And Lenaith, I don't know if you would share about that, but what were sort of the circumstances of this loss that caused you to leave the wilderness and, no longer call the wilderness home? You can put that in chat as we proceed. So, next up, we are going to make camp. Going to determine a watch order, and then I believe all three of us are going to roll. So, who's taking first watch? For the make camp move, where's that at? There we go. When you settle into rest, you consume a ration. So that's going to be a third one. If you're somewhere dangerous, then you decide the watch order as well. If you've got enough XP, you may level up. We've already done so. When you wake from at least a few hours of uninterrupted sleep, heal damage equal to half of your max HP. So, you are back at full health, although you were after leaving the arena anyway. And Henny, I will jump on that in just a moment. If y'all from each team just want to go ahead and establish a watch order. I just need to go who goes first, who goes second, who goes third. And when you do so, you are going to roll plus wisdom. Okay, looks like Javier first, Celius last, and Lenaith in the middle. Perfect. Okay. Henny says, perhaps loneliness, the the wish for human contact, because even while animals are all good and fun, it's better to spend time with someone a bit more sentient. It's true. And we established somewhere in Lenaith's history, Lenaith lost someone. And it was, I don't know if we determined it was fully Lenaith's fault, but Lenaith certainly feels guilt about it. And this was our lost one, and I believe that Lenaith has taken up with the mediumship god Endor in order to kind of commune with the lost one, this individual from their past. All right. We've got, from Halvir, we've got an 8, plus 1, I believe, is 9. Yep. Fantastic. Team Lenaith, we've got a roll plus wisdom, 6. Okay, for you, that's a 7. That's a partial success as well. Fantastic. Okay. So, we still need 1 from Team Celius, but I can pop that into chat if Team Celius is occupado. You've taken your watches. The quiet night around you rings through the forest. You can hear crickets and such, and you each are reflecting in your own minds about the things that brought you here, the things that caused you to get where you are, to become a fighter in Racedis Towers, to become linked together to one another. You wake in the morning and proceed on your way. Finally, you have arrived on the outskirts of this village. This is where we're at. We find ourselves, Harry Potter is pre-recorded, except the ones on YouTube are pre-recorded, and then they are live on Mixer. So you can come back here in, let's see, about 2.5 hours. Come back in 2.5 hours, and the Harry Potter will be live. You come upon a group of half-elves. These appear to be from Michael's Mire. This is the town that you are looking for. Let me go ahead and put that in chat. And they are chopping wood, and these individuals from Michael's Mire, they hail you over when they see you. They seem pretty friendly, a bit wary at first, as one typically would be when you've got new travelers on the road, especially this far out. And one of them dusts off their hands of the sawdust that covers them, and looks at you and says, "Hello, welcome. My name is Carl. We received word that one of you might be coming out here." And as this happens, the moment that this happens, suddenly bursting from the forest, a monumental crashing noise. The world has gone crazy suddenly with crashing noises from the woods. What is going on? You don't know exactly. All you know is that suddenly there is an enormous hulking form charging out from the woods. You can... That's a little loud, sorry. There we go. You can see the towering form flying toward you. It charges out of the woods, and you hear a winning noise and a smash as one of the horses is just one of the horses runs off because this creature has smashed the connection between it and the cart loaded up with wood. This sudden attack takes you all by surprise. This is part of the this is part of what happened as a result of some of the rolls that we made for undertaking our perilous journey. But suddenly this cart, one of the two horses connected to the cart, is suddenly loose, and Lenaith speaks, saying, "Is that creature the problem?" And Carl responds to you, saying, "Well, it wasn't before, but it appears to be now. Can you help out at all?" And suddenly from behind you, you hear a whisper from Ugene saying, whoa, wait, this is an opportunity. Look, if you do a good job here, you know, we might have an extra inn when we get to town. Go for it. Oh gods! And he flees into the tree line. Ugene does. He is not a combatant. Not like y'all are. So, what do you do? Henny, you might be able to use him as bait. It might affect his overall loyalty, though. Ugene is now built as a hireling, which means that, as a matter of fact, I'll put this all in chat. It's probably going to come through kind of all as a blob. Javier, I'll jump on that discern realities in just a moment here. But Ugene is now a hireling, which means that Ugene has stats. The cost for Ugene is fame and glory, which means that in order to keep Ugene around, you just need to satisfy his desire for fame and glory. You do this well. You know, every time that you succeed in an arena or as fighters, you have fulfilled that cost. So it's not like you have to pay him coinage. He has 2 loyalty and 2 skill, 2 points in the minstrel skill, which means that that's the price that he's going to be able to knock off of things for you. All right. Halvir is going to discern realities about the monster. Let's see. We've got a bunch of stuff here. Rolled an 11. And this is plus wisdom, which I believe is +1, so it's still a full success. Which of these 3 questions would you like to ask Halvir? B, D, and F. Okay. What is about to happen? Well, let's see. B, D, what here is useful or valuable to me, and F, what is not what it appears to be. Well, first of all, I think the creature that comes out of the forest is not just a very large human, and it is not an animal either. What you find here is an ogre. This is a massive creature, slightly greenish skin, mostly gray, with big, dark eyes, and very angry, apparently. Let's see. So that was, what here is useful or valuable to me, and what is about to happen? Well, it does appear that this ogre is about to really trash this place, and this is your first experience with our with the people from Michael's Mire. This might possibly affect your ability to really impress them and you know, get them out to watch y'all in the arena when your time comes up. Let's see. Yeah, reloading's not a problem. If y'all have to reload the panel, that's totally fine. Let's see, what is about to happen, and then what here is useful or valuable to me. Well, your companions are certainly useful and valuable. It does not appear that these villagers are much use against this creature. They seem to be as baffled as you are at its appearance, and they are totally unsure what to do. Some of them have axes. They might be able to help out somewhat, but mostly, you know that what here is useful or valuable to you, it's mostly the fact that it's useful and valuable to them. This woodcart needs to get where it's headed and not be destroyed. So Lenaith pipes up and says, "You're saying this creature wasn't hostile before? It only became a problem recently?" And Carl shouts back to you, "I've never seen this creature before. We've got some sort of haunting problem back at the village, but this I don't know." And he grabs his hatchet and ducks down behind one of the wheels of the cart as this creature crashes back into the woods. But you can hear it thundering around in there. You just can't see it. It is thundered back behind the tree line, so it's now out of sight. All right, gang, what do you do? I'll take orders from any one of the teams. We're back in it, folks. No, this isn't the haunting. Yeah, Carl seems to be totally confused about what's going on here. Carl knew they had problems, but this wasn't on his radar. Okay, Celius the Hungry attempts to chase after it. Okay, so, yeah, Celius is going to just hoof it into the forest. I think, let's see, I think you could probably get within melee range if you make me a successful Defy Danger with Dexterity check. Yeah, Tuna said, oh, well, you can see it on the screen. I've got this habit of reading the chat out, but, yeah. Maybe Celius mumbles to themselves. Hoof it. Okay, Defy Danger with Dexterity. A 9 plus, I believe you just recently boosted your Dexterity. Let's see. A 9... plus Dexterity? No, that's right, yeah. You boosted your... Oh yeah, no, you did. Yeah, your Dexterity was at a 0 before. It is now at a +1. So let's see. A 9, that brings it up to a 10. Fantastic. So you have a full success. That means you charge into the forest after this ogre, and you are hot on its tail. Sander, the magic missile is a ranged attack. And Lenath is going to attempt to follow Celius to help. Lenath, are you trying to go stealthily, or are you trying to, are you just trying to, like, make sure that you catch up and get it right in there close? Stealthily, probably. Okay, yeah, go ahead and somebody from Team Lenath give me a Defy Danger with, it's also going to be Dexterity. Excuse me. Halvir, what are you up to? As Lenath sneaks off into the forest, I imagine Lenath kind of takes a separate route, trying to head off this creature. 7 and a +2 Dexterity is going to get you up to a 9. So that is a partial success, which means that you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. The GM will offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Okay, here it is. You manage to get in place. You do manage to get into place stealthily, but you are in this creature's path, which means that likely, although you are hidden now, it is very possible that it will come upon you very soon. So you might not have more than about one move before the creature is upon you here. All right, let's see. Henny's got an idea. Go ahead. Yeah, you can put it in chat, so the chat will show up on screen. I've made sure to add this because some people who are playing on mobile let me know. Apparently, you cannot watch the chat and have the mix play panel up at the same time. So this is my solve for that. Just keep an eye on the screen, and hopefully it will keep you clued into what else is going on. Henny, you certainly can. Called shot. Hooray. Okay, so yeah, you can see this thing. Where would you like to aim? I believe it's head, arms, or legs of this ogre creature with its gray skin. Legs. Okay, fantastic. Make a volley attack for me, Team Lenath. Sander says, if you miss from so close? I'm not sure what you're referring to, Sander. Okay, so you're going to volley at the ogre, and the, let's see. If one of y'all from Team Lenath, if it would be possible for you to tap the move button for volley. Let's see. So Lenath is going to volley at the ogre. Let's see, what's our roll here? An 8 on 2d6. And that is plus Dexterity, so that brings it up to a 10, which means that you deal your damage, and you also have this additional effect, which is to slow the creature down. And so it is moving incredibly slowly now. You manage to catch it with an arrow in one of the legs, and it hobbles forward, continuing to charge in your direction. It seems, rushing possibly away from the massive crashing noises caused by your Minotaur friend. but you also deal your damage. So that is a 5 on 1d8. Let me go ahead and get that in my notes. Okay, fantastic. Okay, you certainly deal some damage here. The creature looks like it is in challenging shape. It doesn't look like it's hobbled, or excuse me, it doesn't look like it's you know, permanent by any means. But you have definitely done some damage here. Henn the Penny. Let's see. You could probably, I think, we discern realities. That's under the basic moves panel, Henny. If you wanted to discern realities about that and try and suss that out. And then for that, I am taking orders from any one of the 3 teams, so go ahead and throw those into chat once you got it. I'm going to discern realities about the ogre. Let's see, you rolled a 9. This is plus wisdom. So that's a 10, so that's a full success. So you can ask 3 of these questions. And I know one of them is, you know, essentially like, let's see. I've played this game in the past, and I've always found this list of questions to be kind of challenging, because I know that none of them really like specifically answers what you want to know. But you can choose 3 from that list there. You can just throw the numbers into chat. A, B, C, D, E, F. A, C, F. Okay, fantastic. And I will make sure to answer the question that you're asking within one of these 3 questions. So, what happened here recently? Well, it seems that this ogre has been trashing these woods. You're looking around and you can see broken branches. You can see, you know, big, you know, stomp marks. You see trees pulled up by the roots. This creature it doesn't seem like scared as much as very angry. C, what should you be on the lookout for? Well, you are currently looking at the ground and you can see, well, you've got an eye for tracks, Lenath, and you can see there might not just be the one ogre. That might be a problem. And F, what here is not what it is supposed to be, or what is not what it appears to be. And I would say that as this creature is bearing down on you, you know, you got your move in out of harm's way, and now this creature really is like it's getting up close to you now. Your paths are going to cross very soon. You can see that this rage doesn't look natural, perhaps. You can see a little twinge to the red, a little red tinge to the eyes. You're not sure what would cause this, but you can definitely tell like there's something strange about this ogre. You've probably seen 1 or 2 of them before. And he's wondering, does it run exactly at you or simply in your direction? It is going to very soon be up in your hiding spot. This was the result of your partial success. You got a move in before it got really close to you, and now that other part is coming up. Javier's going to cast a magic missile. So we've got a 4. A +2 will bring it up to a 6. Is there any way for anyone to aid Javier? Can any of you think of a way that you could aid Javier in casting this magic missile? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, even Sandra's saying I don't think so. Okay, so this one unfortunately is going to fly wide, and once again the magical activities have seemingly enraged this creature. Yes, XP. Thank you, Tuna. I appreciate it. That does mean that on a full failure roll, which actually we have to mark 2 for the. Or no, were those partial successes? I believe there was at least 1 full failure in the. Who got a full failure in the rolls to undertake a perilous journey? I believe Lenath had a full failure, and I think Celius did as well, or was Celius as a partial success? Okay, so for Halvir, you are at 3 out of 9 hit points, or excuse me, XP. You're currently at full hit points, which is 13, Halvir. Celius was a partial? Okay. Alright, and Lenath. We shall not forget. Lenath is at 2 out of 9 XP before the next level up. Oop. I keep forgetting that my keypad does that. Okay. All right. So, this magical energy, this magical fire conjured by Halvir flies wide. It flies into the woods past this ogre, where it appears to catch the dry branches of a tree beyond, and there is now in the forest a fire. This isn't great. It's small for now, but it's possible that this will be a problem soon. All right, who's up next? I'll take orders from any team. Meanwhile, you can just hear Ugene's voice somewhere in the forest, yelling encouragement to you, and occasionally yelling out a tactic or two. And suddenly, with this fire there, you hear, "Oh boy! You're gonna want to get that put out sooner rather than later. I'm pretty sure these woods are important." Let's see. Lenath is wondering if is Celius just going to use speak for everything? Okay, hold on. Let's see. We've got starting with Halvir. Halvir is going to attempt to put out the fire. Now, how are you going to try and do that, Halvir? While you're putting that into chat, Henny, the ogre does not seem to notice the fire whatsoever. It is kind of bearing down on you now. And Celius, it looks like, is going to take a swing at the ogre. If somebody from Team Celius wants to throw that in chat. Yeah, so Halvir, if you could just let me know kind of by what means you're attempting to put out that fire, then we can proceed. I'll know what to tell you to roll. Okay. Henny, you could ignore that. Sometimes it catches some of it catches words within other words, such as assume. You can ignore that though. All right. So Celius is within the melee range, going to hack and slash the ogre. Fantastic. A 10, and not only that, but 11 and 12. And Celius, you have an advanced move called Smash. This is the advanced move from your level up. When you hack and slash on a 12+, deal your damage and choose something physical that your target has. A weapon, their position, a limb. They lose it. So you're going to just straight up destroy something that this ogre has. It doesn't appear that the ogre is holding a formal weapon, although it does seem like it's got an enormous rock in one of its hands. Yeah, the list that it gives is a weapon, their position, a limb. You're going to do your damage, and unfortunately, no, it can't be something like their head and insta-kill. But you can definitely do something about this creature. So anyone from Team Celius can go ahead and let me know about that. And you deal a 6 on 1d10 plus 1 damage, and I realized after last week as well, your special sword, your enormous sword, is a +1 damage sword. So let me go ahead and adjust my notes for that. This ogre is suddenly looking really, really bad. You manage an enormous swath across its back, and you definitely manage to do a significant amount of damage to this thing. Okay. And Henny the Penny says, I assume I don't have a chance to dodge out of the way of the lumbering beast. You might. You're going to have to make another move. You'll have to probably use your move on a defy danger with dexterity to dodge out of the way. And then Sander says stamp the fire out or place my coat on it, cut off the air. Okay, sounds good. I think this is going to be a roll with Constitution. So if you want to make a defy danger with Constitution for me, Team Javier. Let's see. Woof, that was quick. Fantastic. And it doubled up the command there for some reason. Not sure what's going on. Oh, because two of you have made two different rolls. Okay, let's see. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hold on. Okay, so I'll start with Javier. So a 7 plus your stat for this. Let's see. Constitution is 0. Okay, so that's a 7. That is a partial success, which means that you are going to manage to stamp out this fire. It is fully stamped out, but you are going to take some damage from it. So I'm going to roll, let's see. It was a magically started fire, so I'm going to... Whoop. So I'm going to say... I'm going to say 1d6, and I don't even have my panel open. This is not... That ain't the way. Hold on a sec. Gotta get my panel open. Alright, let's do 1d6. Oof, a 6. Oh, max damage on a 1d6. Okay, so, Javier, you do indeed take some damage from this. Don't worry, you are no longer at 4 hit points. You are now at 13 max hit points. But after this, you are at 7 out of your 13 hit points. Yeah, that fire did a number. Okay. But Henny, we have also got rolled an 8 on 2d6. Now, this was to dodge out of the way of this creature. Yeah, it was a decent bit of damage. Yeah, that magical fire will get you sometimes. But the 8 plus your 2 dexterity is 10. That is a full success, and you do absolutely manage to dodge out of the way of this ogre as it charges through the forest. All right, who's up next? Orders from any team. And Sanders says, at least the wood's not on fire, so people won't hate us for that. Absolutely. Yep, it was a good plan to try and stamp that out pretty quickly. Because apparently they're using this somewhat for their livelihood, so it was a good idea to try and manage that before it got out of control. All right, gang, what do we got? Who's up next? And yes, absolutely, the ogre did indeed lose its leg. Sorry, I didn't see if you had put in what it actually was going to lose. Absolutely, the leg. Okay, you did indeed. My bad. Yes, you do indeed chop one of the legs, and at this point, it is absolutely hobbled. It is going to just stop, and it is on one leg, sort of. Hopping like the Black Knight or whatever it's called from Monty Python, but it is going to turn. It is no longer running. It's no longer charging through the forest, and it lets out an enormous roar, which which Javier hears from Javier's position a little ways away. You are not within. I would say you're sort of at far distance from the fight, which means you're definitely within melee, like volley range, ranged attack range, but not within, like melee attack range. So not within hack and slash range. Okay. Yeah, Celius, if you want to go ahead and throw that into chat. I'm gonna swing at it while it's roaring. Okay. Hack and slash peg leg the ogre. Okay. A 5, but a 6 and a 7 will bring you up to that will bring you up to a a partial success. So, what is this? Why did it put? Just sticking random stuff into my spreadsheet here. Okay, that is a partial success on a 6 damage. So you definitely managed to finally slay this ogre. And as you do so, it lets out an enormous roar, and it grabs you and falls on top of you. So Celius, you are now pinned by the body of this ogre. And not only that, but you hear an answering roar from deep in the forest. And you are now pinned underneath this body. All right, who's up next? Yeah, from deep in the forest you hear. And heavy stomping footfalls. There's the one. All right, teams, what do we do? You can hear Ugene dealing frantically with Carl, the half-elf. And Carl says, "Look, we can try to get our people involved in this somehow, I suppose, but it's going to be a lot safer for us back at the village. We should get out of here." I think with that, you can see Carl looking to the forest, but trying to get everyone loaded up onto the wagon with the one remaining horse. One of the other ones has tried to wrangle the other horse and has hopped on its back, but the horse is down to 1 out of 2 horses. The cart is down to 1 out of 2 horses. Okay. Lenath is going to try and push the ogre's body off of Celius. Okay, fantastic. Make a in your basic moves panel, make a defy danger with strength, please. Fantastic. All right, a 6 base plus nothing. Uh-oh. Okay, but this would be a perfect opportunity for Celius to make an aid roll here. So I can put that into chat. Let's see. Oh boy. This is going to be plus bond though. So they are going to so Celius from underneath doesn't have a great angle on it, but is going to attempt to push up as well. And you roll plus bond, which means plus 1. So that 6 turns into a 7. That means that you get a plus 1, Lenath, which means that your 6 also turns into a 7, which saves you both from a full failure here. You do manage to get this creature pushed off of Celius. But in doing so, the other ogre has charged right up within its arm's reach, and let's see. I think the two of you are going to split this damage between you. Let's see. Yep. Henn the Penn, the magic of friendship. Okay, let's see. All right. It is a D8 plus 5 damage. Where are we at? There we go. Ooh. Okay, so a 7 plus 5. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So a total of 12 damage, so you each are going to take 6. Boy, is it good to be able to, do actual damage here as opposed to, kid gloving around with our little gargoyles and such. Okay, so each take 6, so that puts Celius at 15 out of 21 hit points, and Lenath is at 11 out of 17. And remember, these spreadsheets are updated in real time. If you want to keep track of those, you don't have to, but you can keep track of those over on the in the Lorekeeper's Tome. That's the link that will be in the Discord. Okay, it's not great. You will certainly admit to that, Lenath. Meanwhile, you can see you can see Carl has finally got his people sort of wrangled up and is starting to charge down a sort of, not even a road, it's just sort of a dirt path with wagon wheel marks proceeding through a little passage in the forest. Okay. Yeah, Linnaeus, what is it you want to say to Carl? Sander, it's in all of the channels. It's up in the channel description, so you should be able to either tap the channel name. If you're on mobile, then tap the channel name. Actually, it might be the little people icon in the top right corner. And then if you are on desktop, then you can just go ahead and click the description. It's at the line right up at the very top of the character channels. Okay. And Linnaeus does indeed have a bow. And it looks like Linnaeus is going to call out to Carl, "Hey, some help over here." And Carl looks back. Let's see. Do you want to try and convince Carl? I think, okay, let's see. Let's do a... I think this one's going to be a parlay. So in your basic moves, you can go to the parlay roll. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so when you tap the Discord link in the Mixplay panel, then it will whisper the link to the Discord channel to you, and then once you are there, you can find the link to the Lore Keeper's Tome in the Discord itself. Okay. So parlay with Carl. When you have leverage on a GM character and manipulate them, roll plus charisma. Now this is manipulate like just any sort of like you need something from them. You're trying to get them to do this thing. Not necessarily like, coercing. Roll plus charisma. Leverage is something they need or want. And in this case, I think it makes sense that, they don't want this ogre running around. So plus charisma, let's see. On a hit, they ask you for something. And they will do it if you make them a promise first. On a 7 to 9, they need some concrete assurance of your promise right now. So, Linnaeus is going to shout over, "Aye, if we're killed right here, the ogre's coming to you next. Stop being a coward, get over here." Okay. And the original roll was an 8 on 2d6. Let's see. You would need a +2 to get it. I think you're just at a +1 for charisma. Nope, you were at a -1 for charisma. Ruh-roh. That brings you down to a 7. It's still just a partial success. You're still all right. On this partial success, so they are going to need some concrete assurance of your promise right now. So I think in that case, I need one of you to put a hit on this creature, and this will determine whether or not they're going to be willing to help. I think they need to be confident that you're actually going to be able to do this, as opposed to they need to rush back to town right now and warn everybody what's coming. "If you get over here, we can keep the people safe. Come on." And I think, I think that would, I think your tactic is working. It's just a matter of, my point of view on things is always your stats represent your skill in something. So you're at a -1 for that. And then the roll itself represents the circumstances that surround it. So the circumstances that are currently in place here are just that Carl is not sure that this is a good idea. He thinks he really needs to get back and warn people what's coming as opposed to staying here. So we'll see if one of y'all can deal damage to it. So you're going to volley at the second ogre. Okay, let's see. A 6, 7, and an 8 will bring you up to a partial success. So you have to choose one of these 3 options. So A, B, or C. You can just put that in chat. But you do manage to hit it. So Carl, you can hear a massive groan from Carl just going, "Oh, I don't know, but here I come." And Carl hops off of the wagon and is going to charge back into the fight. You got this half-elf here wielding a pair of hatchets. Okay, B. You have to take what you can get minus 1d6 damage. Okay. So let me go ahead and roll that d6. This might take you down to 0 damage. Oh, it did. It did. Oh, no. Okay, so, let's see. What is the specific text? You have to take what you can get, minus d6 damage. So, after removing this d6 of damage, that brings you down to negative damage, but of course you're not going to give it hit points by shooting it with an arrow, although that would be kind of funny. Yeah, I think the thick gray-green hide of this ogre just essentially just ricochets the arrow off. For anyone, by the way, who is new and wants to join us, go ahead and you have to read the rules before it'll let you join. There are some additional requirements as well, but you can feel free to take a look at that. Sander, the new character sheets are going to be the spreadsheets. That way they update live. I can't do the PDFs and update them live. So if you want the live ones, you're looking for the let's see, what is it called exactly? It's called the Lorekeeper's Tome, Racedis Towers. So maybe I should just I'll just change the name to character sheets because that makes more sense. There we go. You weren't so unlucky that the arrow ricochets at Carl, but he's definitely now regretting coming to help you because you have managed to do nothing to this ogre, in spite of the the promise that you were going to be able to help him out with this problem. That's all right. You still got opportunities. Come back in 2 hours, Eboman. A little earlier than that. About an hour and 45. All right. I will take orders from any team here. Javier is currently within ranged attack range, so at not close distance, but I would say like near. Okay, Lenaith is going to say, "Listen, mate, the last arrow hit," and pointed the dead ogre's foot. Sure. Sure. Yeah, so Lenaith is just saying, like, look, I got it. It's right there. It doesn't appear that Carl is convinced by this, but he did, you did get the hit on it, so he is sticking. He's committed now. I mean, his wagon has pissed off down the road. So Celius is going to hack and slash at the new ogre. All right, when you attack an enemy in melee, you're going to roll plus strength. Uh-oh. That's a 4. A 4 plus 2. That is going to be a 6. Now, can anyone aid the ogre? I think Javier might be able to do it by magical means. It's possible that you could do something to aid your friend here, but and remember, this isn't the same thing as just attacking at the same time. You're going to have to actually aid your friend here. So if Team Lenaith or Team Javier can think of a way to aid Celius and avoid this fate here. A kind of distraction. Okay. So go ahead and roll plus bond. Actually, I'll just put that roll in there because there's no way for y'all to just make a blank roll. So this is going to be a plus 1. 5 plus 1, that's still a 6. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so that is a let's see. Plus 1 XP for both teams. So Team Lenaith is currently at 3 out of 9 before the next level up, and Team Barbarian, Team Celius, is at 5 out of 9. Okay, but you both do fully fail at this, which means you are both going to take damage here. Let's see. So first, this one will be for Celius. Remember, this is plus 5. Okay, so that's 9. All right, Celius, you are at 6 out of 21 hit points. Sander, the aid is, let's see, it's in the basic moves panel under aid or interfere. Okay, so there's that, and then one additional roll for, oh no, an 8. Oh no, Lenaith. You are very much knocked out, yes, absolutely. Oh, like what you would do to help, Sander? Yeah, I think you would need to possibly. Oh, wait a second. Okay, now that's a good point, Sander. If Halvir can help Lenath and rescue that help roll, then you could cascade this down and save everybody here. Well, I don't know, team. How would it be most practical for Halvir to help out with this? What's the best thing that Halvir could do to try and help? I'm hesitant to answer for you, because I like when y'all are doing your own problem solving. Interesting. Yeah, I think, it's possible that some additional distractions could work. It's possible that, you might be able to use one of your spells to this effect. Halvir is going to distract by using a spell or something. Okay, this seems like a good opportunity for prestidigitation. And this is plus your bond. So, on a full success, Halvir manages to... Oh, good grief. Halvir manages to bump the partial success of both teams up to... Bump the full failures up to partial successes for both teams. So, here's what happens. Cascading backwards. By using this prestidigitation, I think you... yeah, I don't know. Maybe, Sander, you can give me... Or anyone from Team... Halvir can give me an idea of what sort of minor trick you play. Minor magical trick. That's what prestidigitation does. You perform minor tricks of true magic. You can touch an item and make cosmetic changes to it. You can make minor illusions no bigger than yourself. So maybe something like that. But go ahead and let me know. But in doing so, you distract the... I think on one side of Celius, there's Lenath. And then on the other side of Celius appears this magical mystery shape, and it distracts the creature enough away from Lenath that I think it's only going to do partial. It's only a partial failure. So you're going to open yourself up to Lenath to something here, and I think it just grabs you instead. Now, Team Celius, your damage is going to come either way because you took a hack and slash mode action, which means that you still get in the partial success, you get your damage in return, but you are going to deal that damage that you rolled before. So let's see what that was. Let's see. Hack and slash, a 4. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so you definitely deal some damage there. Okay. 4, and you can feel there's a... I just reached level 36 in my own channel. I'm lower than Tuna is. Okay. Okay, so sort of a Patronus. Sander, I'm going to want to know about that later. What sort of form your Patronus takes. But a successful hit by Team Celius. So Celius definitely manages to hack into this creature as it is distracted, but it does grab Lenath. Now, Lenath, you don't take that massive amount of damage that certainly would have downed you. And Team Celius, like, you're at 6 hit points out of your 21. It might be prudent for you to, we'll say, take another look at your tactics here, because you are, you might be in rough shape in a bit if you continue on this path. And Lenath screams to Carl, "Cut off its arm! Cut off its arm!" Yeah, so you are grappled right now. It's got Lenath in this big old bear hug essentially, and Carl is going to take that action. But first, Javier is going to cast Magic Missile at the ogre. So, rolled a 4, a 5, and a 6. And let's see. I think with this, the ogre is going to charge toward you, Javier, because your +2 only gets you up to 6, unless somebody can aid it. Yep, absolutely. So, Henn the Penn, you're being carried like a football now. Lenath is being carried like a football by this enormous ogre, just charging toward Javier. So, let's see. I think you can, but you're going to be at a -1 to attack, Henn. So, Lenath is going to be at a -1 to make melee attacks here. Now, don't forget. Team Lenath, I don't remember what exactly you've got right now, but you do have your new sort of cleric type spells. You can absolutely aid by trying to trip it. Yeah, go ahead and give me a defy danger. I aid, trip it. Oh, true. It doesn't. It's its own type of roll. Okay, so plus your bond, that is going to be a 9. Oh, yes, you get a +1 that pulls it up to a 10. Fantastic. Okay, so you do try to trip it, which means it is going to stumble dramatically, and this magic missile is going to hit at a partial success. So, Javier. Team Javier, please choose one of those menu options about this spell. Remember, you've got the 3. You draw unwanted attention. You are going to take -1 ongoing to cast a spell, or you forget this particular spell for the time being. All right. Oh, but on 2d4 you do 7 damage. That's pretty good. That's really pretty good. Okay, let's see. I got to put that in my notes here. And this thing is, suddenly you blast across its back, and as it's charging, or actually, no, you're in front of it. Or actually, you and it are facing each other. And the, can you reach its eye with your hand? Yeah, I think so. Henn. Lenath can probably do that. However, you are watching this creature charge toward you. It stumbles a bit as it does so, and you do manage to catch it in that moment where it slows down with your magic missile, and you do a significant amount of damage. Like I said, don't forget to choose your nerf from that A. Okay, you're gonna unwanted attention. Okay, yep, sounds good. I think next move it's gonna be on top of you, not literally on top of you. Well, maybe it did that to. It did that to Celius, but it is charging toward you now. Yeah, you're definitely... when it reaches you, it's going to be within range. But before we do this, let me make sure that we've got Carl with a turn here. So Carl is going to yell, and take a pair of swipes at this creature, trying to try and hack it down. Now, this is going to be a... I think I'm going to sort of treat it as a hireling, I suppose, just in terms of stats. And yeah, I'll take care of that after Carl's done really quick. Oh. Let's see. Hireling. What do we like for our hireling skills? Oh. Okay, that's not particularly useful to me. Let's try this. Play the game. Hirelings. Okay. What does a warrior hireling do? When you deal damage while a warrior aids, you add their skill to the damage done. There's also a protector. When a protector stands between you and an attack, you increase your armor against the attack by the defender's skill, then reduce their skill by 1 until they receive healing or have time to mend. Also, when a protector helps you defy danger, you can opt to take +1 from their aid. If you cannot get a 10+ result, a 10+ instead counts as a 7 to 9. Oh, if you do, you cannot get a 10+. All right. Okay, I think he's going to behave as a protector here. When a protector stands between you, stands between you and an attack, you increase your armor against that attack by the defender's skill and reduce their skill by 1 until they have a chance to receive healing or time to mend. Okay. All right, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I think, so Carl is going to charge up in front of, Carl is going to charge right up in front of Halvir, and stand with axes at the ready, which means that, I guess, this is where Carl's going to position themselves. We'll see what attack Carl wants to sort of impose themselves into, because I don't know who's going to be attacked first. It's not on me, it's on the dice. Okay. So, plus your wisdom, I believe is a +1, Henn the Penn. So, Henny is wondering, clarification on the light spell. If possible, I'll cast the light on my hands and basically hold them right in front of the ogre's eyes. I think it has to be, just for the sake of not setting a dangerous precedent, I do think it has to be on an item. Your light spell. So, you could definitely choose an item. You've got, let's see, yeah, I think you're currently holding your bow and an arrow, probably. If you wanted something else, remember, like if you wanted something specific, you can always dive into your, you can go into your inventory, and there's a new move, quote unquote, in there called adventuring gear, which allows you to, that will not be true for Halvir, because Halvir doesn't have adventuring gear. For you, Halvir, you've got a bag of books move. So, Henn the Penn is going to cast it on the arrow. Okay, fantastic. And then you're just going to like hold that arrow up in front of their eyes. I think you managed to do that, yeah. So you have managed to successfully, deflect this thing, and it is now like blinded. It is wandering around, and totally like totally unsure of what's going on. But it does stop dead in its tracks. Let's see, and that was a full success. So there is no drawback to it. You have done well. All right. Ship captain on a cloak. Throw it over his eyes. Okay. So, fantastic. It is now blinded. It's looking around. It's not sure what exactly has just happened. All it knows is that it can't see very well because there's a tiny sun in its eyes. Now, how long this will last, whether or not it will let you continue to hold this thing in front of its eyes, we shall see. But for right now, you're in good shape. What is everyone else up to? What you up to, gang? Carl is standing in front of Halvir. I think Protector makes the most sense for someone like Carl. But if one of the other ones of you take an attack and Carl is able to intercede, Carl will do so. It just kind of seems like what y'all need right now. I like how this art, just everything still looks so pastoral and so serene, when in reality y'all are just fighting your way through the woods against a couple of ogres. And he says, okay, so I've got an idea, but I'm not sure whether it will work. Hey, some of the best ideas start like that. Okay, so you're going to try and get it with this arrow. For that, it's going to be a hack and slash, I believe. So go ahead and, it's in your basic moves panel. Yeah, I think that's going to be a hack and slash. Oh, fantastic. Okay, and remember, you were at a -1 because you were all tied up in this thing, but you rolled a 12, so that gets you to an 11, and, I think your skills get you back up to a 12, I'm guessing. Let's see, what's your strength? No, you got a +0 strength. That's fine. You're still at an 11. That's a full success. Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to call in fish. Okay. I will tell you, however, as you I don't know, what's your way to signal to fish? Is it whistles? Something like that? I don't know. But you manage to get this arrow stabbed in, and at this point, that is all that this creature can withstand, and it falls down onto the ground. As Carl stands in front of Halvir, Halvir, who recently saved your butts a few minutes ago, Celius is a little ways beyond, and you have successfully vanquished these two ogres. Well done. Lenath says, "Thanks a bunch, Carl." He says, "Well, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if you could take this thing on your own, but it looks like you have. I suppose that we're indebted to you already. Although I did hear that you were here to help us out with a bit of a hunting problem. I've never seen these before. I mean, I knew that we had ogres here in the hills somewhere, but I've never seen them attack us like this. We typically leave them well enough alone, and they leave us well enough alone. That's very strange. Alright, gang. What does the party do?" Lenath says, "You let these ogres live here? Are you mad?" "Look, I'm... We simply don't have the fighting power. You might have noticed that even my companions here, they took off. We don't have the fighting power to go up against every ogre here in the woods. These aren't the only ones, I'm sure. We're not exterminators, we just live here. We defend our little wooden walls as well as we can, and, well, we hope that the ogres don't come knocking." Lenath says, "Do you know approximately how much there are?" Dozens, I'm sure. But they don't typically group up very well. They don't live in tribes or anything. Pretty solitary creatures overall. It's a little strange these two were together. They're a bit territorial, even. Endor. Lenath's god's name is Endor. God of mediumship. Which means that when Lenath is spellcasting, it's less often that Endor themselves is helping you out, and more that Endor is allowing you to call upon someone that's important to you. The god of forest moons, says Tuna. Alright, folks, what does he like to do? Carl is breathing heavily, saying, and Lenath speaks up and says, "Oh, Endor Almighty, you better find a way to pay for this. I didn't particularly enjoy this cuddle with the ogre." Carl raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, well, we can certainly accommodate you back in the village. We need to get back to the mire anyway. They're going to be wanting to hear what became of these ogres. Now, listen, it might be wise for me to sort of let people know what exactly happened here today. I'm not sure how they're going to take to the fact that we've got a hunting and an ogre problem now. Yeah, I might not have the chance. I know my companions have already reached town by now. We're pretty close by." Okay, what do you folks want to do now? You have managed to defeat... Oh, you recognize the Arthur Weasley voice? Yeah, they're pretty similar. Something like this for Arthur Weasley, and... Yeah, I think Carl is my best attempt at sort of a Norwegian. A vaguely Norwegian accent. Something scanned. And he says, "Give me a second." and going to investigate the ogre's dead bodies, mainly the eyes, to see if that magical rage is still in it. Okay, fantastic. Go ahead and give me a Discern Realities. That's in your basic moves panel. And yeah, I think y'all are gonna head on to the village. Remember, we've got, let's see, we've only got about 20 more minutes left in this episode, which means that we're gonna be wrapping up soon, but y'all are definitely gonna have a chance to get to the village from here, I think. Okay, let's see. So, Lenaith's Discern Realities. Rolled a 7 plus wisdom. It's going to be an 8. That's a partial success. You are going to ask one of these questions, and of course, you know, I understand your general question is about the eyes, trying to focus on them, but just go ahead and pick one of those 6 questions there. E. Who's really in control here? Oh, interesting. An interesting one. Okay, so you can see there is this redness to the eyes, right? It sort of emanates from around the eyes, and as you examine the eyes of these ogres, you sort of brush away at it, some of it with your thumb. You know, you sort of reach down and touch it, and it appears to be on the skin what looks like sort of a red kind of dust. A red dust around the eyes. And, yeah, Lenaith calls out to Halvir, "Hey, Halvir, have you got any idea what these things are? What's going on with the eyes here?" But in answer to the specific question that you asked from the list, who's really in control? And the answer is not the ogres. The ogres are kind of out of their mind with some of this rage. They are not in control of themselves. Now, how this sort of, and you can see, like, as you sort of pull back the lids, you can see some of this dust, like, inside the eyelids. It's gross. But you can definitely tell, like, there's something strange happening to this ogre. This isn't normal. There is some sort of outside influence on the ogre itself. And Lenaith pipes up to Carl and says, "A haunting, you say? Perhaps this is connected to it. Maybe a possession?" "Well, I wouldn't know about that." And I think Ugene pops in from the background and says, "Oh, a possession? Possessed ogres? That's not what was in the wanted listing. Well, I mean, we can handle anything. This party is very capable. They are just simply the best at what they do, and I'm sure if it is, you know, possessed ogres, that they'll do a great job." And he chuckles a little bit and sort of like side eyes you, like, "I believe in you. You do a great job, but this is kind of crazy, right?" Lenaith says, "This whole situation wasn't in the listing, dear friend." And Halvir says, and oh, we need a voice for Halvir too. I imagine Halvir being a little older. Does that make sense to y'all? Old and wise, indeed. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make this not just my Dumbledore voice. Let's see.
Is it possible that the monsters in the village can have done it?
And Carl says, "I don't know. Well, we're not sure exactly what's in the village, but we've never had a possession before. Not that I know of." And you can see he's kind of thinking. He's trying to make sure, like, wait a second, nobody I know has been possessed, right? And he sort of shakes his head and says, No, I think I would have noticed if one of my friends had this weird red dust around their eyes. No, I don't think we've seen this before. Is it unconnected, though? Well, I couldn't tell you. All I can say is that it has been pretty peaceful in Michael's Mire for, well, the better part of about 5 years. We ran out a nest of razor boars, and since then it's been alright, but now it's, well, we've got the haunting, and then less than a few months later we've got ogres behaving strangely. Lenny says, listen, help us out a bit. Is there anything else that you know? And, Celia says, maybe it is just pink eye. Poor ogre. But Carl looks at you, and you can see, like, Carl is like really trying to think hard about this, and says, Listen, I know why you're here. You're here to help out. Of course, it does do you some favors, but I won't complain. You've done a good job already. But listen, I know why you're here. You're here to give us a hand, and if I knew anything else, I would tell you. All I know for the moment is that we've had hauntings back in the village. Listen, let's make our way back, and I will tell you more on the way. And Halvor says, yes, I think it's time we go. But Lenny says, wait a second. Yeah, I think Ugene sort of like whispers to you and says, hey, look, I'm getting the sense he's telling the truth here. You know, we really didn't see anything in the listing about these ogres, and well, it looks like he doesn't know anything about them either. Now, it would be pretty strange if they were totally unrelated, but we don't know how, and it doesn't seem like he does either. So, well, we'll see. Lenith is going to walk over to one of the ogres and take one of the eyes for safekeeping and for memories. Okay. Purely for scientific purposes. But yeah, you managed to get one of these eyes, and it is like there's this dust like all the way around the eyeball, all the way back behind it and everything. You know, in fact, as you pull it out, the eye socket that the eyeball was in of this ogre, like it starts to just ooze a little bit of this wet, reddish dust. But you do indeed have one. All right. So, I think you all start to make your way to Michael's Mire. You cross a little covered bridge. It's made out of stone with a wooden and thatched covering over top of it, across the river. And now that you are looking around, now that you're not having to fight off an ogre, this place is beautiful. It's a lovely countryside, and you can see why someone would want to set up shop here. It's pretty remote and, surrounded by forest in the dark on all sides, but, in the spaces between the trees, out here in the hills, it's really lovely. You find Michael's Mire, which is on the edge of a little spot in the river, a little bend in the river, where the water becomes kind of stagnant. And this is the mire that they are speaking of. There's some soft ground over there that Carl warns you not to walk through. But other than that, you arrive here in Michael's Mire. You are in rough shape, but you will have a chance to make camp here on the outskirts of town. You arrive in town, I think, around noon. As you are going, Carl explains to you what he knows about the haunting. He says, well, so far, we've had a number of unexplained phenomenon, I suppose you might call them. People will hear sounds. Things will move around in the village when we're pretty confident no one else is doing it. Now, it is possible, and his eyebrows furrow as if he just really hopes this isn't the case. It is possible, I suppose, that this could be somebody playing tricks, but truly I don't think so. I think we're dealing with something different. We hear shrieks at night. We ask everyone if everyone's alright, and in the morning it seems that, other than, the people disturbed at hearing these awful, awful shrieking noises, everyone is okay. It's not one of our people shrieking at night. We've heard it listen, we've heard stories as well about, what can become of a haunting if it's let go unimpeded, and well, I'll just say that the people are getting fearful. They're getting afraid about what might happen if we let this haunting go on unimpeded. Lynette says, has no one investigated the shrieks? Try to find out where it's coming from. I've taken a look around. We don't have a town guard or anything. We're a very small village, as you can see. And next week I'll be able to show you what the village looks like in more detail. But as the biggest woodcutter around and with the sharpest axe, it typically falls to me to do the investigating. I'm not much of one for investigation, but listen. Tonight, if you get the chance to do some resting, then I can show you where we've heard most of our problems coming from. And that, folks, I believe, is the end of our session for today. Yep, we're just talking our way to the village and to the end of the stream. Yep, this is indeed the end of the stream here. I would urge everyone to... hold on a second, sorry. I would urge everyone to hold on for a second. Don't forget that anyone who shares or posts with the hashtag Chat Plays Dungeon World has the chance for an NPC to be named after them. In today's case, Carl is at Daddy Robot Live on Twitter. Carl is someone who has shared the good news about the show. This is true on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Anyone who shares or posts with that hashtag Chat Plays Dungeon World, you've got a chance to have an NPC named after you. So, Carl, welcome to the game. Before everyone leaves, I would really urge you to join the Discord and to check out the link to the Lore Keeper's Tome in the channel description for all the character sheets. I'll have the character sheets, handouts, maps. We've got one of the home district, and next week there will be one for this village as well. Every Friday, so in 24 hours, is our Spout Lore session. This is not a stream. This is just a Discord-only chat party. It'll be to talk lore. It'll be to vote on character decisions. And for some of you, most importantly, to do our post-session XP wrap-up. So if you think your team earned XP during this session, make sure that you're in the Discord tomorrow. Make sure your voice is heard. It starts at the same time as this stream. So 1 p.m. my time. So whatever time this stream started for you, that's the time it starts. So 2 hours ago. This episode will be on YouTube in 1 week. And in the meantime, if you had fun, please tell people on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And remember, anyone who shares that hashtag has a chance to have an NPC named after you. So thank you all so much for listening. This has been a fantastic time. I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Tell people about it. I will see you all in 2 hours. Nope, in 1 hour, excuse me, for the Harry Potter stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, like I said, this is the premiere. Go over to Mixer and Discord right now. The next episode is starting. For everyone who is watching this live on Mixer, on Discord, thank you so very much for joining me. Henn the Penny, once again, thanks for asking. That hashtag is Chat Plays Dungeon World. I will put it in chat now. Boop. There we go. Chat Plays Dungeon World. Yep, anyone who shares that during the week, of course, I'm only going to be able to take a look at it until about the night before. Keep in mind that, like I said, tomorrow is our Spout Lore session. It'll be in Discord tomorrow at the same time that this one started. And then if we've got any votes or decisions to make, those votes have to be finished by the end of the weekend. So that just allows me time to use that information to prepare for the next stuff. Team Halvir, I apologize about the spell stuff. I will be putting that in, honestly, probably later tonight, if I've got the time for it. But, yeah. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed substantially, because I know I absolutely have. I'm super excited about this project. I think I'm most excited about this project of anything that I am doing right now. This is super cool. I would love to have more people in here to share the joy, to join us for the adventure. And I hope that I will see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.